me fix my hat. All right, there. That's little. You know what I mean? I don't know how. Anyway, yo, what's up, YouTube? Yo, what's that word? So this the Heen Sports. Let's get right into it. First off, shout out to the Eagles. Them boys won the Super Bowl. You already know the vibes. I went down to Philly. Had a good time. You know what's crazy about that Super Bowl, right? It's crazy because I knew they was going to dominate. Like I knew they was going to dominate, and I know I'm about a week and a half late, but I figured I just talk about this before we get into the All-Star break festivities. It was a mess, but I just want to tap into, being from Philadelphia, supporting this team since I don't know how long. It was good to get that second Super Bowl win. Wall Street was turned up, and I had a good time. And I was telling my friend during the game that we was going to dominate. And the reason why I don't think any AFC team gave us a difficult time. Only team that really gave us difficult time was the Browns. And, that can just be playing down the competition. But you look at Pittsburgh, and everybody talk about how Pittsburgh wasn't this, that, and the third. But before we played them, we had people like Bill Simmons and other, media, football analysts saying how if Pittsburgh was in the NFC, they'd be the number one seed, this, that, and the third. And, we went out there and exposed them boys. And, then when they come to the Bengals, right? Bengals had one of the best offense in the league. We had them 17 points. Baltimore, realistically, I know the score was a lot closer. We shut Baltimore down. So at the end of the day, I was never scared of Kansas City. It was that thought in my head, they had Travis Kelce and obviously Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Mahomes, right? The boogeyman. So more so, I was scared of Mahomes, but I was like, it is what it is. I think we're going to dominate. And what did we do? We came out and dominated. Defensive line. I got to give me a Jalen Carter jersey because that boy is crazy nice. Crazy nice. But, Jalen Carter, that defense held it down. For me, I wish Saquon would have got it. Just like, we got Super Bowl MVP. But, he got one of the craziest stories out there, right? Giants didn't want to pay him. They talking about how they be upset if he came to the Eagles. What happened? Come to the Eagles. You got people talking about he's overrated, that the Eagles didn't need him, this, that, and the third. And what he go out and do? 2,000 yards rushing. They didn't even play game 17. 2,000 yards. What'd he do? 100-something yards. Rams, 170 yards. Washington, first play, to the crib. That boy hit his head on the goalpost, So rightfully so. He didn't dominate, but we still got that win. And for all the hate out there in Jalen Hurts, me personally, I think Jalen Hurts is a above average quarterback who can have big moments. And, he proved it the first Super Bowl. I didn't say run, but the first time he went to the Super Bowl, he played exceptionally well. Outside that turnover and defensive hold that I really thought they should have let go, he did his thing. So, it's been up and down. Even last year, we're not going to act like he didn't have average 2 turnovers every game. Even the start of this year, he was turning the ball over. So, I'm not going to act like, he was all balling all the time. Like, that's not facts. But, he got it together, didn't turn it over, made plays when it counts, Yeah, you want all these stars, Saquon, Goddard, Brown, Smitty, you would want the offense to put up 35, 40 points a game, but that's not the style of play, They're cool with Hurts not turning the ball over, keeping it 150 to 200 yards, making plays with a count. We're going to pound the ground, and that's the formula. And, I was telling my boy, hey, when it's time for Hurts to show up, judge him on that. But until teams prove they can stop the run, then it is what it is. And, when it's time to show up, he showed up, So I don't get with all this, if it was another quarterback do the same thing, this, that, and the third, bro, stop. I would say this though, just to be objective, I think that in the Super Bowl you probably could put any quarterback in there that don't turn the ball over. And not saying they gotta have a dominant game because Jalen Hurts played good. He played really good, but the way that game was going, you could have just put a quarterback in that don't turn the ball over and just move the sticks, and we probably win. Probably not as big as a margin as we do, but you know. So with that being said, shout out to them boys. Eagles, Bird Game. Y'all know the vibes. Hurts MVP. Stop hating on my boy Saquon. And I just want to get on Saquon. Saquon, who by NFL running back standards was paid handsomely, but he is highly underpaid. For what he did for us last year, he is underpaid. Like you got somebody like Gabe Davis, right, who played for the Buffalo Bills. I think he went there in Jacksonville. He making like 18, 20 million a year, which is about 6 to 8 million more than Saquon making. And you just got like receivers who just dominate on a money side when it comes to running backs. So I never subscribe to that. Like that's just crazy work. That's nasty work. That's not crazy. That's nasty work. Like pay them boys, right? And obviously not all running backs gotta be paid. When you talk about like the Derrick Henrys, McCaffrey, Saquon, what's the dude down there in Atlanta? I forgot his name, but the top of the top. You talk about them guys, like they deserve like 20, 25 million. Like offense pretty much runs through them, and without them, the offense is just not what it was or what it is. And let me not say that because Lamar Jackson is nice. He's super nice. So not a knock to Lamar Jackson, but when Derrick Henry was in Tennessee, like you paid Tannehill $30 million, while Derrick Henry barely scratching the surface with 10 mil. Like, what we doing? What we doing? But anyway, let's get into this All-Star break, right? All-Star break. I remember being a child and being super excited for All-Star break. And I mean like celebrity, right? Celebrity weekend. Not even celebrity weekend, I'm sorry. Celebrity game, right? I was super excited about that. Dunk contest. Vince Carter, T Mac, Steve Francis. Come on. Quentin Richardson, like even when I got older, you had John Wall, Dwight Howard, Nate Robinson, Eric Gordon, Zach LaVine. Like it was lit. It was lit. So Blake Griffin, although it wasn't the stars, and I know Stephen A. Smith always say LeBron kind of messed it up, but I still think it was still good. Some was hit or miss, but in between you'll get some good names coming out. And then the All-Star game itself, right? Like, by the time I started really watching basketball, I just remember like Jordan, Kobe, AI, Marbury, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Garnett, like even Paul Pierce, Wade, like at that time they wanted to be there, like hey, we're gonna do our thing first, second, and maybe half of the third. But once it started going to the end of the third, getting into fourth, we're gonna make it do what it do. We're gonna guard up, we're gonna make it tough, we're gonna get the fans what they came for. And I just feel like it's not like that no more. You can even see like Kobe. I think Kobe last All-Star or one of his last All-Star games, like, when he was D'ing up LeBron, it's like, bro, let's get it. Like Carmelo, like they all telling LeBron take the shot, like, and like at that point they was trying to take the game serious, like, all right, like let's make it do what it do. And I just feel like, and I'm a LeBron fan, but I feel like once the leaders, once LeBron, and he was like, once the Kobe got weeded out, Shaq, and like a lot of the OGs who kind of set the tone, like the seriousness just kind of disappeared. And I think one of the things that's annoying for me is like these dudes play hard on the off season, right? So it can't be injury. Like I'm tired of hearing this narrative that like, they don't want to get hurt. Like, bro, they go in the off season, you see them playing against each other. You see James Harden, LeBron, I mean, I can just go back to when it was Chris Paul, LeBron, D Wade, DeMar DeRozan all showing up at the Drew League, and they was going in, like they was snapping. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, I just don't get it. Now it's like, all right, layup line, dunk line. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I just totally tapped out mentally. I think the 3-point contest is probably the most exciting thing. It's funny to think, like, I mean, skills challenge already been whacked, but outside of that, like when you go back to when I was in high school, even my early 20s, like people just wasn't feeling the 3-point contest, right? You know, or the skill position, but like dunk contest, all-star game. Like I remember I remember being in my cousin crib, like, and we was all locked in for the all-star game because like we knew once we get second half that they was gonna ball out. And it's like, it's not even that no more, you know. And I see all the tweets and everything, everybody talking about, oh, John Moran talking about, oh, McClung, you gonna make me get out of here, you know, make me get out here, and then you got old boy Giannis talking about, oh, if you do it, I do it. Like, bro, y'all got every opportunity to do it. You're not doing it because you don't want to mess your brain up. Like, I don't know. Me personally, NBA All-Star, sometimes I feel like it's more just for the kids. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I was there, I'm sure I'd have a good time, you know, actually being in an arena. But like, if you home watching on television, like, you don't want to waste your time with that. Like, in a celebrity game like Drewski, Casanai, you know, shout out to them guys. Like, but you know, it's like the younger generation just all locked into that. And then outside of that, dunk contests is like, bro, they got McClung signing somebody's jersey in Disney, and I'm gonna have to post that. He's signing somebody's jersey in Disney, and the kid just see unexcited. It seemed like somebody just got him a jersey because he knew he won the dunk contest, like not knowing who he actually is or even being a fan. You know, so I don't know. It's just different. It's just different. But I've been done with the All-Star weekend. You know, it was cool to tap in, but the whole time, like playing 2K while watching, you know, you see the TV in the background. I'm playing 2K and I'm just like, okay, you know, so I can see what's going on, but it's really not that no more. You know, I think LeBron sitting out was, you know, at first I was like he should do what he wanted, this, that, and third, but then like listen to my friends and like people talk like, yeah, I thought it was something else, but I mean, come on, Bron, like get these kids an opportunity, right? To get on. Like you taking up a spot when you're not even gonna play. And you're still gonna be an all-star selection of 2024 on your what they call it? On your record. So like, I don't know. I now thinking about it, set on it, no Diddy. I think it was corny of him, you know. Still like LeBron, you know, still LeBron fan, but that was just kind of corny. But you know, we're getting back into the regular season. You know, NFL season's over for me. NFL season's over for me, so we really tapping back into like the race to playoffs. And like this is the best time, you know. Eagles won the Super Bowl. They held it down for Philly. You feel me? Yeah, I mean? And now, you know, I get to lock into basketball, which, you know, is my second love. Always love football first, but basketball is my second love. Play basketball all the time. Play 2K. So I'm just totally locked in for basketball. So yeah, let's get it with basketball and you know, we'll see. I feel like my team is kind of trash. Obviously, I'm from Philly, 76ers, everything. I know I got the LA joint on, but you know, I live out here now, so you know, gotta represent LA. But like for sports teams, everything Philly, everything. Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, Unions. Like no matter how you slice it, I'm just rocking with Philly. You feel me? But 76ers is damn bad, bro. They're damn bad. Like Embiid, he barely can play. Paul George, I don't know what's up with Paul George. Paul George is that Gatorade commercial. That's Paul George on God. He's that Gatorade commercial. Like my man had 2 points, bro, and I know they say dealing with injury. Maxey just, I don't know. Maxey don't play no defense, and he's a high volume scorer, but he take a lot of shots. So you know, without the best player being on the court, like it's tough for him. You know, He gonna drop 30, but he gonna take like 26, 27 shots to get 30. You feel me? Especially when they're not getting them fouls. So this team is just a dumpster fire. I think they should just get rid of everybody. That's my personal opinion. You see what Luka just got. Now, obviously, Embiid gonna be a harder sell because Embiid is like pushing 30 years old, and Embiid is pushing 30. He about to make $60 million a year for the next 5 years. He can't stay healthy, so that's a hard sell. But there's a sucker born every day, and from what I understand, he needs surgery. So I understand why they want to opt into surgery, because they opt into surgery. Sisters might be a top 10 pick, and they don't have a protected top 10 pick. Then they got protected 1 through 4. Outside of that, I think they go to OKC. So it's like, yeah, I can understand why they want to make the playoffs and make a run and not have him get surgery, because you're not going to get a pick. You feel me? So I don't know. It's a tough sell. And then even Paul George, bro, he about to be making, bro. I can't believe these contracts. Paul George is about to be making 20. I'm sorry. Let's back it up. Paul George is about to be making $53 million a year after this year. That is nasty work. Nasty work. You can't make this up. Who pays a 34-year-old $53 million a year for the next 4 years? By the time he's 38, he's gonna be making like 55. Like, make it make sense. And then you paired him up with Embiid, who's not healthy. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, we're going to see what this playoff push do for the 76ers, even if they even make it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, my personal pick is Boston versus OKC. I'm going to go with Boston. I think Boston's just too good. They got Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, Tatum, of course, White. I know Drew Holiday been a little off, but, I mean, you don't need him to do much anyway. I mean, he had spots last year, but, he was just coasting a lot of times. So I just think Boston too good. Might do a repeat unless the Nets can come step it up and really, Brunson go on for 40, and then Cat. I would say the one thing about Cat always played dumb in the playoffs. Like, even he's in Minnesota, he just commit dumb fouls. So, and for them, that'll hurt them. I mean, it hurted Timberwolves, all them years. I mean, realistically, he was their best player until Ant stepped up last year. So, not to go down the Knicks and Cat role, but just, I can see them upsetting Boston, but I don't believe in Cleveland. I know the Cavs are doing really good. I'm not sure they're the 1 seed still, but I know the Cavs are doing really good. But it's just something about betting on that dude Donovan Mitchell, man. I know he's good during the regular season. I know he do his thing, but he burnt me too many times. Because usually, let me tell you what I do, chat. Usually, what I do is I do a big parlay at the start of the playoffs, right? I might bet like 500, just on 3-4 teams to when they're around, right? Usually first round. One year I bet on the Jazz against the Jazz against Dallas, and this one they didn't have any Luka Doncic. It was just Jalen Brunson giving them that work. And then the next year, when he goes to Cleveland, favorites, he got that work again. And I should have hedged my bet, but I'm like, man, there's no way. Was it the Knicks? I think it was the Knicks. Jalen Brunson again. What? He got that work. So it's like, hey, I'd rather watch and see than, bet on them and like just see otherwise. You feel me? But spade to spade, it is what it is. We're gonna be tapping in all season, well, the remaining of the season, especially when playoffs hit. We're gonna be tapping in. Basketball now. Shout out to Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. You know the vibes. So we locked in to basketball. We locked in to this end of the season. Like, comment, subscribe. I know it's probably won't get no views, but it don't even matter. I just got to keep posting consistent. I hope the people who do watch show me love. As the videos keep coming, I know I gotta get on the shirt game. That's where it's at. That's where you pick up your views and stuff like that. So yeah, it is what it is. Holla at your boy. You feel me? I gotta like stop saying holla at your boy. I feel so old. That's like when I was in high school. How the kids said, all right, gang. Let me stop. But all right, like, comment, subscribe.